Look, obviously, an important game for us, getting to the 10th win and putting ourselves now in a position to play in the postseason. It's always challenging and it happens time to time at the end of the season when you're not sure maybe a team that you're playing. And I thought our players did a good job of focusing on the things they could control. I can recall coming here 5 years ago, COVID, and none of your quarterbacks were playing. And those are the things that drive coaches crazy, and so this week is difficult because, the expectations obviously are high and you want to make sure that you come out. And so we talked about it during the week, we really tried to focus on the process, but tune out like who might be or who might not be playing. We can't control that. And I meant what I said when I talked about Andy's team earning the right to do what they needed to do. Every one of us that's coaching a team in the postseason is trying to do what we feel like is going to help our team have the best chance of success. So we came out fast, played well in a lot of areas. Quarterback really got on a heater, and we'll go from there. So any questions?
Yeah, Sean, backup Chiefs or not, there's still a lot of pressure on you guys. Could you talk about how your rookie quarterback thrived, it seemed like, in a pressure game here?
Felt like he was seeing the field well. Obviously, we played well up front. We had decent balance. We converted a lot of third downs, so that kept us on the field. The time of possession mattered in that, I don't know, we had one drive. It felt like it lasted forever. But you got to be converting third downs or fourth downs. I can't recall many times today, going to that third and long box. So even when we were on third down, it was manageable. He's seeing the field well. Gave him some spontaneous plays, like at the line of scrimmage, just to go run. He handled that well. But overall, I was pleased.
Coach, you've talked about your expectations for this team versus external expectation. Just wondering the pride you feel in this group, kind of looking back from the start of the season to now in terms of what they've accomplished.
I think, look, good question. I think, and it wasn't just from a draft or just from free agency, but young and hungry can sometimes be pretty dangerous. And I think that, most NFL seasons are filled with, highs and lows. And can do you have the grit and the fortitude to weather the lows? 0-2 going on the road. We got to get a win at Tampa. That was an important stretch, that East Coast swing. And then when you can have some success, then you can have some confidence, and then it becomes something that can repeat itself. It's hard to have confidence if you haven't really demonstrated it yet. And so we began to see young players thrive in certain positions. Some veterans, some key veterans come in and fill in roles for us. So it was a number of different transactions that worked out, and I'm proud of them.
Coach, a very important win for this season, but a historic win for the franchise as well. Who did you give game balls to in the locker room, and what was that like?
So the game balls today went to ownership. They've been tremendously supportive. I've been to a number of pro teams, but I told the players, you don't get to pick a lot of times where you end up, but you guys are at a good spot. And this is a group that cares about you. They talk about it. I hear it. And they're very consistent. And I think in today's pro sports, I think it's probably one of the bigger indicators of success. And I know for me personally, when I went through this process, that meant a lot to me relative to where. And I said that it wasn't like I was looking to choose to join Patrick Mahomes in this division, but the ownership group here was the reason. And so, they got the game balls.
You obviously have had a lot of conviction in Bo since before you drafted him, when you drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you seen him grow the most as a player on the field over the course of the season?
I think the hardest thing for quarterbacks that come into our league are the third down protection menu volume, like the different third down packages and pressures. So they all have to take a speed course on that, and he's done very well on handling, the different odd front, nickel front, dime front pressure. I think that it does begin to slow down. Here's the one thing I know: he's a hard sack, right? And I also know it's difficult if someone coming from the college ranks is sacked quite a bit. It's difficult to change that, and so that statistic has as much to do with the quarterback as it does the offensive line. And I think that he processes it and gets rid of it. And the other thing I would say is, man, with his feet, maybe there's a little bit more there than I didn't or we didn't see, because, he didn't run the shuttles and everything, but he can run. That's kind of the spaghetti sauce sometimes when the pocket isn't clean.
Coach, with about 3:45 left, it looked like you looked up into the crowd maybe for a second. Did you have a chance to soak in the moment at all?
No, my wife's from West Virginia, and they
heard
were
the song?
playing "Take Me Home," so it was easy.
But
I wasn't.
so you had heard the song then?
Yeah.
But you inherited a bit of a nuclear mess 2 years ago. Is there a bit of pride in the fact that you came back, you chose to come back, you didn't have to come back to coaching? Is there a sense of pride with you and this coaching staff for what you've been able to do?
Everyone, yeah. Listen, I think more than anything else, if you said what's most important, look, it's not compensation. It's not, it's how your peers think of you. And so that's as a coach, as a player, how you're thought of, and having a chance to, I have experience, but this idea of this long verse book of experience, I've only started at another club one time, so it's not like, you follow me? But I know it starts with the right people and the procurement of what you're looking for vision-wise. I know that, and I learned that, and man, we had a good off season.
Coach, what does it mean to you to see guys like Cortland Sutton, Garrett Bowles to get to the postseason after the years of not going to the postseason throughout their career here?
I think I said this the other night to the team. That year we were a game away from another Super Bowl, and it was that game against the Rams. What happens is you get so excited to share it with others, like what this is going to be like, and so when you get older, you guys have had like a restaurant you want to take someone to try, or a movie you want someone to see, or whatever. The postseason or the Super Bowl, those are things that you want others to like. What do you see? And it's exciting. And so, look, and then today with trying to keep track of some of these bonuses, those are good problems. I think our guys met some of them. It's hard to keep track of yards. Catches is easy. Sutton needed 82 yards. Catches, though, when Emmanuel Sanders needed 6 or 7 catches in New Orleans, he came up to me with that like, right. I said, look, I already know why you're here. I said, you'll have 6 catches before the end of the first quarter. I said, but you're staying in the game. And I think he had like 9 or 10 catches. But yards is different. Some of those things are different, and I want all of them to realize all those things that they've earned. So, what else?
Sean, straight back. When you got you knew you'd be above 500, you downplayed it, said you have bigger goals. So making the postseason is obviously exciting for everybody, especially folks that have seen the drought, whether fans are in the building or whatever. So how quickly do you turn the page though and know that it's not just about making the playoffs?
I just think you're imprinting and talking all the time about we're going to play in bigger games, and we are. We're going to play in bigger games, and one of the harder things to do during the course of 17 weeks is really try to just completely zoom in on that week. It's easy to get moved a little bit. That's why I always like the opportunity, if it exists, to go away for a week, or because I think with today's generation, there's something to that. Look, we've talked about playing in bigger games. This is going to be a big game this upcoming week. We'll find out when it's going to be. I'll probably find out when you guys do. So Patrick's going to keep us all posted.
Along those lines, what are your early thoughts on going on the road to face the Bills next weekend?
Man, we look forward to the challenge. They've had a great season. We're familiar with certainly the travel. The last time we were there, it felt like we were there 7 days. We played them Monday night. We got out there Friday. Our plane was delayed. But, look, they're a real good football team, and that's why they're the 2 seed. And we're going to have a great week of preparation, and we'll get ready to go.
Sean, you guys have talked about playing good complementary football throughout the year, defensively to suffocate them the way you did early after your guys' quick touchdowns, and then to go ahead and then shut them out. What might that do for the defense's confidence going into the playoffs?
Yeah, look, I think it's important to look closely at the tape, but again, understanding. Yeah, I mean it's what we needed to do. All right, now we didn't just shut down the starting group there, but it's what we needed to do, and so we were able to do that.